Hello, my name is Luis with TEC-EASE. Welcome to the GD&T Tip of the Month. In this episode, we're going to talk about inspection of profile controls. So let's begin with profile of a surface and profile of a line. If you look at this part, it's got this contoured surface, maybe blended radial elements along that surface, and most folks will say, well, where do I begin with something like this? Well, remember, this has a drawing that it's associated with. And so what I want to do is ensure that I measure every radial element true to the surface. So for example, I want to make sure I get the basic value from the drawing with respect to that radial element and set up the indicator along that surface. Now, it's interesting because with the CMM, I can actually load up the CAD model and measure the variation true to that basic radial element, because what if I have, say, 3 radial elements that are blended together and create this interesting contoured surface that it's difficult to simulate physically? Well, in that case, the CMM does a pretty good job. Also, there's some scanning mechanisms and softwares that will help with that as well. But the main thing to remember is that you always want to measure a part true to its surface. Here I have another example of a part that's been set up on this fixture. And so say that I had a profile of a surface call out on that radial element. Well, the key would be to line up the indicator true to the size of that radius and run it along the surface. I have another setup here where I have 2 parts. We'll say that the flat surface is the datum feature and that the pin is a secondary datum feature. And so if I set up on that surface and set up the center of the part and say that the surface all around the exterior perimeter is going to be controlled with profile, and I want to verify the profile of a surface, well, I'd lock in on the datum reference frame and I'd run the indicator true to the surface. Now I'm going to run the indicator true to the surface with respect to the datum reference frame. And so we could say that I've set up at the basic value. I'm going to improvise a bit and run the indicator along the surface. And they're not just linear elements, because I'm going to be running the indicator over several linear elements and maybe run the indicator up and down to take several points. As I do that, I'm checking surface profile. But with respect to the datum reference frame, I'm also getting straightness and flatness for free in this case. And so we could say with some profile controls, I get straightness and flatness for free. In fact, I may even get orientation controls like perpendicularity and angularity, dependent upon the datum reference frame. So some folks will ask me, what's the difference between profile of a surface and profile of a line? Well, the key difference is with profile of a surface, I'm going to make sure I run the indicator along the whole surface, maybe take several points, linear elements to account for all of the surface. However, with profile of a line, all I'm doing is checking linear elements. So I'm checking slices along a surface. The number of slices is based on the design intent. So it doesn't matter what type of geometry you have. I always tell folks, geometry is geometry. With GD&T, if you remember our GD&T basics, we locate features of size with position and surfaces with profile. Profile is the only symbol that locates a surface. Well, I hope this helped. We look forward to seeing you next month. And remember, at TEC-EASE, GD&T rules. Hasta luego.